Yes.
Well, out of all the non-medical fields in the United States of America, do you know which one has the highest suicide rate? It isn't morgue workers, trauma doctors, specialized surgeons, military doctors, or just, regular human doctor. The medical profession with the highest chance of suicide is, in fact, a veterinarian. That leads to the question of why. They work with puppies all day. Why would they want to kill themselves? What makes their job so hard on them? With the industry that breaks people down like that? The short answer is a lot. Let's start with what I was able to see firsthand from my own work. I spent my time volunteering to help take care of farm animals and help with basic everyday necessities. I did some grooming, I played as much with the animals as I could reasonably sneak in without anyone noticing, and I shoveled some things I'd rather have not needed to shovel. And even yet, I was still able to see what made this field so incredibly difficult to work in. The first, easiest answer we can go with is simply just funding. It's hard work to take care of critters, and hard work costs a lot of money. More than anyone can afford, short of the odd rich groups here or there. Frankly, it's heartbreaking. It's hard knowing no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, you can't really just get what you need to help. A lot of places rely on the donations and payments of others, and most of the people donating or paying are completely indifferent afterwards, and frankly just don't care as much as the veterinarians do, or anyone who cares for animals. And that lack of care is what makes the veterinarian's job so hard. I had a talk with a veterinarian who worked exclusively with dogs, and hearing just how many animals were abused that she couldn't save or had preventable medical conditions making their lives horrible, that she just couldn't afford to fix simply because the owners didn't feel like paying for them. It's a regular occurrence for a customer to ask her to just put their dogs down rather than deal with bills as small as $100. Frankly, people just don't care about animals. That's what makes it hard. Veterinarians are often people who got in the field because they love working with animals. But coming in day after day, making so little money that they often need a second job to support themselves, and seeing the animals are supposed to be helping and having to kill the poor things or let them live in suffering because little Miss Susie can't be asked to pay for the dog she insisted on getting for Christmas that's going stir crazy from the lack of proper exercise and care and is suffering from no less than 3 separate bowel diseases because they buy exclusively the cheapest dog food they can and then has to listen to the shining example of humanity yell at her for 20 minutes straight on why being asked to pay $120 is completely unreasonable and she's a terrible person. And then having to put down the dog afterwards. According to this veterinarian, that story happens practically every week. It's hard caring for animals, which I learned the hard way. Yep, that's right, tangent time. From my own experiences working with animals, I've seen that we need to consider the health and well-being just as much as the veterinarians themselves. And from my own experiences volunteering, I saw just the critters. The amount of time dedicated to just the bare minimum would surprise you. Not even the, I've got to go win a horse show kind of grooming. I mean, like the normal washing and basic care, sure we don't accidentally hurt them from poor hygiene and whatnot. You already expect horses to need a lot of exercise and attention, but the actual amount they need is even more ridiculous than that. Also, you can't really potty train a horse like you can dogs. That's not a fun discovery. I had to burn a pair of sweatpants afterwards. Not fun. Anyways, point being, animals need more care than you'd think. I'm going to ask an honest question to all of you in the hope it has the one. How many of you own dogs? And no one answers. Well, the next question is, what breed are they? Easy enough, right? Well, do you know how much exercise they need medically every day? The majority of dogs in this country don't even get that. Just playtime. The fun stuff. That says nothing else of the rest of their needs. Do you know offhand how many dog food brands have been sued for being actively harmful to pets? Yours is, and much all of them, short of those really fancy foo-foo hippie dog food places. I could stop and think about it. What I'm trying to say is that while dog may be man's best friends, we're not really theirs in return. Of course, that applies to a bunch more animals, but it sounds more snappy and poignant when I say it like that. The biggest problem we have with animals is simply a lack of care for their health, their needs, their quality of life. But it doesn't have to be that way. Heck, even just taking a few steps to care for your own pets more could help far more over the course of their lives than I could volunteering infrequently when time lets me. If there's one takeaway I want you to have from my talk, it's that just paying attention could help far more people than you could ever realize, or animals too. That your animals and the people relying to take care of them are living, breathing things needs to attend to. And that's my talk.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing your final talk with us this morning. What questions do you guys have for this project?
I have a question for Thomas. Is after doing this project and seeing what you've seen, is being a veterinarian a job you are interested in working as in the future?
Oh, absolutely not. Are you kidding?
I have a question. Are you going to continue volunteering after this?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's hard, but it's fun, and I'm helping things, so best of both worlds.
Thank you again, Thomas. What an awesome project. All right,
Miss Mullins,